King on screen.
Which one is this, Robert?
We're still in 1984, and
Wow.
we are talking about Firestarter.
Firestarter, based on the King novel released in September 1980, and this was his fifth novel?
Around that, I think that sounds about right.
Something.
So yeah, but
Can't
still,
believe
yeah,
84 is still, we're still in 84. That was a banner year for
it
Stephen King
was.
movies.
Yeah, he was just kind of. They were churning him out, and his name worked. But this was originally supposed to be directed by John Carpenter, but The Thing did so badly that he was kind of yanked. That was taken away from him. So
Can you believe
um,
that? And now
yeah.
this movie is, I mean, it's not, doesn't have the same impact even a little bit as the thing.
I don't,
It's
yeah.
it's bizarre. That's how it worked out. But there you go.
Um, but it would be interesting because I know the script was a lot different uh, on the Carpenter version, but you never know. So this one's directed by Mark Lester, Dino De Laurentiis film, and so
Love it.
if you're not familiar, this was they were looking for locations. They landed on North Carolina, and from what I gather, he just really liked it, and that's where he built the studios there. So for a while, a lot of his films were, and a lot of Stephen King films then were shot in North Carolina. He created some studios. So
Right, right. Um, North Carolina, was that where they filmed Maximum Overdrive too?
it is, yeah.
That's
So
right.
that's where, yeah, all roads lead to North Carolina.
All now, I know the remake was trash. And
Oof.
do you do you think how do you think it was funny? Woo. Um, does this film hold up for you as a
It did. So
film?
I did a rewatch. And for the most part, and now Grant, the thing is like it's typical Stephen King first act. Like, yeah, we are in this, and because you're thinking like this is going to be on the road movie. You know what I mean? And like these, trying to escape, and it starts. What's the called it? I can't remember the term where it kind of starts in the middle of the action. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It starts off with they're at the airport, whatever, and they're already action's already happened. You don't know what's going on,
Right, right.
and she puts the guys from Amityville Part Two's boots on fire, and so
Yeah.
they're running, and so it feels like it's gonna be this road movie, and then they meet up with Art Carney and Louise Fletcher, and then it begins to right around then becomes to a halt. And then they go to Granthers, which I think is code for grandpa. I don't know. I've never
Great.
heard the
Oh,
term
that's played.
Granther.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
but anyway, so the movie kind of stops because then once they bring them to the shop, everything pauses and they're trying to examine her, whatever, and they
Right.
separate them or whatever, and then they need to escape, and so that's kind of the fun. So it feels like it had all this going, and then it just kind of stops. It kind of lost that momentum, so which is unfortunate.
Right.
But
When they're escaping and they're doing that, and he's like, they're shooting at him and stuff. It feels like
yeah,
that could have been, that was climactic. And
yeah,
then it's like a middle part. And then you're right. It like keels out a little bit.
it turns into where George C. Scott is kind of being a creeper and trying to be friends with
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it kind of suffers that way, and I can't remember how much that mirrors the novel or not. It's probably exactly the mirror, probably exactly because in true Stephen King fashion, yeah, like we said, he doesn't always know how to stick the landing. But so it does kind of suffer that way. Tangerine Dream does the soundtrack, which is interesting
Yeah.
because it's good, but also. Uh, it might slow down the movie too, because it's a Tangerine Dream is a serene, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. It has moments where they kind of pump it up and so forth. But
You're
and Martin
right though.
Sheen's second Stephen King film, obviously he was just in The Dead Zone, which we talked about. So
Yeah, good call.
it's a good fit for him. But we have some Oscar winners. I mentioned Art Carney, Louise Fletcher, and George C. Scott. So
Yeah,
people sh
powerhouse in this one.
people showed up.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, they have three Oscar winners. And was this George C. Scott's one of his last films? No,
Oh no, 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 because he went on to
because he
uh
did
Exorcist 3 and
right. Yeah, he
in the
died. Oh, right,
90s.
he
Yeah,
died in the
yeah,
late 90s. So
yeah. So, but
yeah,
yeah, he was
interesting.
playing a Native American. Uh
Right.
hmm,
How does that work?
this is what we did,
I
kids,
know.
back then.
I know. It's like
But
But
I love Louise Fletcher, obviously.
yeah, no, she's great.
Yeah.
Also, I was just gonna say, I didn't mean to interrupt you. This film has, um, I remember seeing this, I was younger too. It feels like a true classic 80s King movie, like the music, and it's one of those movies I would have loved to see John Carpenter's vision for this and his cut. Like I could see him doing this and making it having that Carpenter brand. Like it would
Yeah.
be, I respect it for what it is, and that's fine. But it would be, I mean, just think if it was, John Carpenter's. We had Christine, we had Halloween, we
Hmm.
have Firestarter. It would add his magic to it, his brilliance, and I feel like, this movie would have just been so much more on the front line because it's
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore setting people on fire, like George C. Scott. Everything we just spoke of, what's not to love about this, and yet it doesn't hold the
Yeah.
same flair.
Yeah. Now it does, and you mentioned a little bit about the remake too, but because the thing is like when you everything you see is real fire. And so the thing,
Yes.
and I think when you talk about why when this movie does still work, because these are all people on fire, or and let's say the fireballs, you can see the strings, but I was just like, these are actual fireballs being
Yes.
across the, whatever, versus our CGA fire that we kind of deal with now. So,
I know. It's
but
real explosions, real fire. Like it
yeah,
it matters.
yeah.
Makes a
So
difference.
it does make it so, and that's where it's like, so I think that's where it kind of still works, kind of in that aspect. But yeah, and let's say Drew Barrymore, it's hard because she's super young, and can't be poking fun at child actors,
No.
but it is difficult because the movie rides on her.
Right. She
And
was in
it
ET, folks. Go watch
Yeah.
it. She can do whatever
Um
she wants.
but yeah, it just doesn't always work. But that's part of the script,
You're
and
right.
that's
That's a
what we
good
have to do.
analysis,
Yeah.
Robert.
So, but
Yeah. I like that. It's true. And do you think that she was in ET plays on like guys just get her in there? Like, is that why
well, she was
that
a
was
name, because she was doing,
that's
I
what I
mean,
mean. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, she had ET, and she had reconcilable differences, whatever. So she'd actually
Yeah.
is a it's
She
weird
was
to
a
say,
name at the time.
marquee name. People knew who Drew Barrymore was, and
Absolutely.
it's her on
Absolutely.
the poster. You don't see any of the other Oscar winners on the poster.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so she was the one to kind of carry the movie, and
Right.
in the sequel, they still have her, not sequel, the remake.
The remake, yeah.
The hair's still flying. There's some things they just lifted directly. We were not part of the book, but it was part of the original movie. But they did. But yeah, I didn't know how much we're going to go into the remake because I was kind of excited because I was like, yeah, let's see what
Yeah.
difference they do. And ooh, it is not good.
No, and
Yeah.
Zac Efron's a good actor, and
Yeah.
it could have been okay, and it's just not good.
Yeah. I know we talked about it on the podcast when it came out, and there was I would say I'll call it an unforgivable scene that you lost all
Yep, done.
respect for uh the girl. There's like I could not get past some
No,
of her behavior, and I was like, that was
no,
you
you
lost
know,
the entire audience. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm not rooting for you anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, not
But
good. They could have
and they
done so
did,
much more with that
yeah.
too. I mean, really.
And they made a sequel, which was that I think the sequel was almost 20 years ago. Uh
Yeah,
Firestarter Rekindled, which it was a
right.
TV it was like a two-part or whatever. And it was like, okay, let's see what happened. I have that curiosity of like what happens now. And they kind of resurrected. Now, Malcolm McDowell plays the George C. Scott character. Still not a Native American,
I know.
uh,
Just throw Malcolm in there. It's
but
fine. He
yeah.
did Clockwork
And
Orange.
is it Danny Nucci? Is that his name? Fabrizio from Titanic.
Yeah, that is
Is it?
yeah.
Yeah. Is in it. But anyway, but yeah, it was one of those like,
I
oh,
forgot
they
he
could
was in
have,
that.
yeah, could have been good. Same thing. They could have been good, and they just rode it into the ground. But they
I
just
know.
lit it on fire, and yeah, anyway. But
Yeah, they could have done so much more with that. And Firestarter, I don't know if it really deserved or it warranted a sequel. I mean, I pretty buttoned up, but I get it. I get why they would do
did
that.
Children of the Corn warrant 12 sequels or whatever?
Absolutely,
Yeah. So,
yes.
I also made note there's two Michael Myers in this film. At least we know George Wilbur and Dick Warlock
Good
are
call.
both in this as well.
Good call. Good call. I have to bring up Children of the Corn since you mentioned it. Don't you think they should have done a prequel? Wouldn't you rather see like this new farming families in town? That Isaac boy's got a lot to say, and then have it go up to that point, and then finale with a 30-minute them taking over the town. Like the Blue Man was a scene that was deleted that they never put in
Yeah.
the original. They had them going in the police station, and they had so much more that they cut. I don't know. I feel like a prequel would have been fine.
Now you got me thinking 1930s. A
Yeah.
young man named Johnny Gatlin comes to
Right.
Nebraska
Yes.
to stake his farm, and it
Right.
turns into a small town.
Have to be the 30s. And
Yeah.
then, pre-cell phone, yeah. Okay. But
His friend, a little girl named Abigail, lives over in Hemingford, the next town over, but they don't get along.
she's making her own bread most of the time. She's still baking her own. Abigail
They
lives in the
they
next
they
town
put they
over.
neither one crosses that county line.
Oh, that's great. Sold. Just take the
I'm just
money.
saying, Netflix, whoever's listening, here's a miniseries. If you have Welcome to Derry, we can certainly have Welcome to Gatlin.
Oh, it's yes. Now you really got me thinking about
Now,
that.
now, see, you got you thinking about like, yeah,
I wish it were a movie now I could watch
yeah.
8 times a year like The Stand and not
Well,
respect it.
just wait. We can have Happy Gilmore too. We can certainly have Welcome to Gatlin.
What would your one last thing about Firestarter? What was your biggest hang up with it? Do you have one?
It's just the thing you hit that beat. It has the curve where it goes, it just stops. The movie just
It kind
stops.
of does, right?
Yeah, and it's just
There's
like,
no
and
payoff.
it's hard to pick it up again because it's like the whole point is like to get out of there, whatever, and that end ha happens quickly, which is good, but it's just like, there's something. It should have felt more epic, like um, maybe more either more on the run or something. I don't know, but.
Yeah. Okay. It makes
It's
I'm
you know what
with
I
you on
mean?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix it necessarily, but it's just like, and that's why it's kind of not rewatchable. And I don't think people really think about this movie too much. They know what it is,
Right.
but they really either haven't watched it in years. So
I agree. Yeah, that's why it would have been nice to have John Carpenter direct it. You would
yeah.
at least people watch Christine. Now that people watch Firestarter. I mean, what do you think people watch more, Firestarter or Children of the Corn?
Probably two. Gosh, I don't know.
Now people are clamoring for Children of the Corn
I,
either,
yeah, I don't think
except for
people are
me.
really wanting to. Well, people are going to Children of the Corn filming locations. Nobody's going to Firestarter. Well, some people are, but
But good
they're not having
point.
a special screening of Firestarter at the Wilmington Airport. You
And if they
remember
did,
this,
we'd be
kids?
there. Right.
Yeah.